Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do what we call a hanging indention. So, um, let me kind of walk through this really quick with you to help you understand why do we do a hanging indention and how do we do it. If you noticed, imagine here we've got this research paper by Kelly Smith and she cited a bunch of sources. Well, in order for me to understand where she got this information, she has to create what we call a works cited page. This is what the research paper will look like. We're not quite there yet. We're still working on source summaries. But for now, I want you to understand why it is important that I ask you to do this in the source summaries. So, here we have, you'll notice in alphabetical order, we have a lot of last names. This is all the research that our author above over here has found. And so what they do is they put it all in order like we've asked before. Remember when we did MLA format, we did our author, the title, the where they got it from, the date, and all that good stuff. What we look for as readers, or at least for me, I want to figure out who is it that you've cited and where can I find that information? And we set it up this way so that it's really easy to find. So say this author up here, Kelly Smith, has made a quote and she cited this source from Erin Blakemore from her article on the abusive husband. Okay, so in order for me to find this information, all I have to do if I find it in here, I just scroll on down and I look for the last name that the author up here uses so that I can find this information. So here up here, Kelly had quoted Erin Blakemore. And when I scroll down, do you notice how it hangs over the edge? And because it hangs over the edge, I can see it really well. That is a hanging indention. They are very important and they are very necessary, and I require them, especially in your works cited page at the very end of your research paper. But before we get there, we do a lot of other things. We find some information, we have our topic we want to cover, and we have some research that we have to do. And all of that we put into our source summary. Well, in the source summary, I still need and I still want that hanging indention, okay? So here's our little sample source summary, and here's my source, and well, I'll give you kind of an example of the what and why, kind of what a source summary looks like. So notice down here, the what and the why in this sample does not have the hanging indention. It's a very simple little paragraph. There's no tabs, there's nothing special, it's just the dialogue. That stays simple. But what I need is the source to have the hanging indention. So over here, I'm going to bring you back. I notice my source, it does not have that hanging indention. I need to fix that. So what we're going to do on here is I do not want you to highlight this actual dialogue. All I want is for you to highlight the source. And the source here ends at that DOI. Remember, we talked about that in the other videos. And we go up here to the author. Do not highlight anything else when you do the hanging indention. Do not highlight anything else when you are doing the hanging indention. You just highlight the source, and that's it. Okay? We'll make it very easy. So if I were over here and I wanted to fix this and I had to change where it was at, I do not highlight the dialogue. I only highlight the source. Okay, so we're going to go back here. All right, so I'm just highlighting the source. Now, if you take your mouse and you look up over here where you see that there is a ruler. And in this ruler, you see what we have two different types of what do you call it? Two shapes. We're going to call it two shapes. We have below, which is, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay, we have two shapes. We have the Dorito at the bottom, and then we have that rectangle on the top. And it actually tells you what they are. Left indent, and then first line indent. And that's this first line, okay? But to make it really, really simple, all I need you to do is highlight the source and then come up here to this little bottom triangle. I'm going to call it the Dorito, okay? We got a Dorito and then we have a bar above the Dorito. So first we want to take this Dorito because that's our left indent and we're going to pull it all the way over to the middle. We want it between the 0 and the 1. And look what happened. This whole thing moved over. But we're missing something. Why is this last name not over here? Well, that's because above the Dorito, we have this little rectangle, and we need to take that first line. See where it says first line indent? We need to pull that back. So we're going to pull that first line back there. Boom. That is how you do a hanging indention. Okay, do you see that? All right, so let's try that again so I can show you how we do it. Okay, so the only thing we need to do is highlight the source only, okay? And the source starts right here at that DOI all the way to the author. Now remember, we have that Dorito and the bar above it. And the Dorito, we pull over first because the Dorito pulls everything. So Dorito, and then the bar on top goes back. Okay? All right, so the Dorito, and then the bar on top. All right, we're going to do that one more time. So we have the Dorito and the bar on top. And some of you are going, oh my God, why have you done this 5 times? Because it's important to me, okay? And when it's important to me, I'm going to repeat it over and over. And once we do that, ta-da, look how beautiful that looks. And then when we go over to that sample works cited page, look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. And as a reader, as a teacher, as someone who wants to know where did you get that information that you put up at the top in your research paper, all I have to do is scroll down and look. I see the author right there. That same exact author that you quoted above is right there. And then all I have to do, I can click on the links we have here. I could follow the DOI. I could look up the article name. All this information that you give me makes it super easy because maybe I want to find out more about the research that you used. And that's exactly why we do it. And again, it's always in alphabetical order in the works cited page. When you do your source summary, I won't pick on you for that. All I want to make sure is that you have your hanging indention and everything is in the order that I've asked in that MLA format. Okay? All right. So that is how you do a hanging indention. Hopefully that works for you.